Now we stopped on North Jackson Highway on Muscle Shoals Sound Studio. This is where the rhythm section from the Fame studio came and created their own studio here. 3614 Jackson Highway. This was on the Cher's album cover. I think Cher was the first one to have an album out, or an album recorded here. But the Rolling Stones came here and recorded Brown Sugar and Wild Horses. And Keith Richards did say in the documentary he would have loved to have come back and carried on more recording here, but they went to a chateau in France instead. The tour starts down here in the basement.
Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
sorry,
come on in.
one.
Oh, that's all right. We haven't even started, so
Thank
you're
you.
on time.
Thank you.
We'll get started right now. So
Okay.
if y'all want to have a seat,
Thank
feel
you.
free to do that. This was a dry county until '82.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so
That's why
That's-
that was one reason that it was hidden.
That's where the Stones only came here once.
Keep it a little secret, huh?
Yeah, the dry county
Speak
stuff.
easy.
Yeah, they would go to Tennessee, get all the beer kegs and liquor and stuff at the state line.
Oh,
Bring it
wow.
to the lounge here, where they had a lot more booze in here than we don't have any. But they have draft system and all the bullet bourbon and Jack Daniels and stuff in here. So kept it stocked up. It looked just like this though. This is David's old Sony U-Matic video cassette player. It was the same one they would watch movies on.
Oh, it's ancient.
It's original, yeah. He brought that back. All right, guys, we'll head up to the studio.
Yeah, this is really dark down.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh.
Mix. So they would want to hear it from like a car perspective, and so they had thousands of they had like huge monitors like that were 10,000 a piece.
Yeah.
And that's what they listened to during playback tracking. But then they bounce it over here to these same ones, and they would want to hear like a crappy perspective. You know what I
It's
mean?
a little FM radio.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. This board is very famous. You can read about this board online. It was never here until 2015.
Oh.
We got this in 2015, but it's very historic. This is an API.
Is it functional?
It is functional. Yeah. This is their API logo, very famous. API is one of the leading audio manufacturers today. They're making great equipment, and they have for a long time. This board was custom built for Chet Atkins in 1969.
Cool.
And this belonged to Chet for about 20 years, I've heard. But can you guess where this started at?
Nashville.
Yeah, it was Nashville. It was RCA.
Studio B or
Studio B is where this was in the 70s.
Cool.
Chet Atkins would set his Coca-Colas right here where this ring is.
Yeah.
He drank those old glass bottle classic Coca-Colas, and that's where
Nice and corrosive. Lovely.
yeah, nice and
The only flat spot that would
Yeah.
be big enough, really.
good.
it would be.
I'd make
That's
you put
where
a
it's
poster downstairs.
So we are recording here today a little bit.
Okay.
You know, we're mainly, our main focus today is tourism, but every so often we have recording sessions, and this is the board that we use today.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. So, this is where David played in this corner of the room. This is where he played the bass for 9 years. Pop Staples.
Staples
You know the
Singers.
Staples?
Yeah, staple singers, right,
I'll
okay.
take
That's
you
Pops
there.
and David sitting here.
Okay.
See, all this equipment is in this little photo from '71. It's pretty crazy. That poster, that tuner, and that amp.
Oh,
This
yeah.
poster, this tuner, and this amp in that photo from '71. Roger Hawkins, where he's playing the drums. Guys, that Boz Scaggs record, you saw Duane Allman. He was naked in that photo.
Yeah.
I read an article, it was in Rolling Stone magazine last week, and it said that Duane, on that Boz Scaggs record, do you know where he would have played in the room? He played in the restroom
I was gonna say.
on that record. Come check this out.
You just sat in there.
That was cool that they did an article about that record. It said that his guitar amp was right there in the restroom, and they mic'd it up right there. And then he stood right here behind his amp, and he played all the guitar licks and stuff in the restroom. They love the acoustics in here.
Well, it would work, yeah.
They did a lot of recording in here. Acoustic. They would do like acoustic guitar, like right here. They'd have Bob Seger in here and have like a mic on the acoustic guitar in here. And then Duane would play lead in here, Cher sang in there. They did all kinds of stuff in there.
Good grief.
Guys, this is the studio bill for Wild Horses right here. The Swampers made $1,009. Have you ever heard that they wrote the song here? Keith was in the restroom for hours in there and he wrote the lyrics.
Just had an idea, he said, didn't he?
This is a softball team that they sponsored. And this is Jimmy. He looks proud. He's holding their trophy. Apparently they were really good. It was like a local softball team and they were called MS Sound. And this is Lynyrd Skynyrd. See that? David told me one day, he said he was working on Linda Ronstadt's record over there playing the bass. And that was 71. And he said there were two guys hanging out on the porch out there. And they kept peeking in the back door. And it was getting on his nerves. And it was Glenn Fry and Don Henley. Out there on the porch. And he didn't know who that was, but they were in her band before they started.
Oh, okay.
This guy right here, this was one of their lead guitar players. And his name was Wayne Perkins. And I met him last Saturday. He came in here last Saturday. Cool. This is a funny photo. This is Ronnie Van Zant and Lynyrd Skynyrd. It looks like he's sitting on his lap in the controller.
They're in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. So that was a mirror.
Everybody piling back.
Wayne was 15 years old in Birmingham. And then he moved here and started working at Quinby Studios. And then somebody from here saw him over there and brought him here. And he was 16 years old and he started playing on records here. And he played on Joe Cocker's record here. And he played on Leon Russell's record here. And he played on Linda Ronstadt's record here. And he played on Lynyrd Skynyrd. They didn't have many session players in their career on records. But Wayne played lead guitar on their records. Street Survivors. He played on that here. Really?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, very good.
Good deal.
It's cool to say we're in the same space as like music royalty.
It really is.
So there's the Muscle Shoals Sound Studios. The white wreath flower on the front of Jimmy Johnson, who died 9th of September. One of the founders, one of the musicians here, Jimmy Johnson, died just last week. He was the guitarist here, and he was the main, possibly the main producer of the four Swampers, David Hood, Barry Beckett, and the other guy, I can't remember his name. There's a sign, welcome to the city of Muscle Shoals, hit recording capital of the world.